In this practice, we'll be working on stability in the hip. First, we stabilize the hip, then we can expand more fully into the poses. We'll begin seated. Take your right shin in front. Take your left leg back and create a bit of a pinwheel in the seated pose. And you'll notice that the left hip feels a little tall compared to the right. Place your hands in a prayer position. See if you can draw the left hip down just slightly before swinging completely over to the right side, doing a bowing gesture. Rise up, and again, bow slightly as you keep the stability with your legs. And rise up. Again, one more time. Reach your heart forward. Try to keep that stability by activating your legs. Try that on the opposite side with the left shin forward. The left foot is working into the kneecap. The right kneecap is pushing into the arch of the foot. You've got a strong engagement that way with your hands right in front of your heart. Keep your balance as you bow forward just slightly and rise up. And bow forward again. Rise up. A third time, draw forward, slightly down, and rise up. Release your hands. Now come to the front of your mat with your feet forward, legs straight. Sit in Dandasana, this staff pose. Sit tall. Spread your toes to engage your legs. Now lean over to the right side, lift up your left leg and reach it taller than the right. Lean over to the left side, reach your right foot again, a little bit longer than the left. Lean over to the right, reach the left leg forward, lean to the left, reach your right foot. You'll see that you're doing the butt walk, reaching one foot forward at a time. You're engaging the leg, spreading the toes, reaching rather than rocking side to side. You're reaching one foot forward, the other foot forward, and engaging the legs so fully. Now walk backwards. So lift up your right leg, pull back from the foot all the way to the pelvis. Lift up the left, pull back. Lift up the right, pull back. You've got the program. Now keep the action, just moving the pelvis so that you can travel on your mat. Just traveling the distance of the mat is a strong engagement, strong action, and a bit of workout for many of us. As you come to the front of the mat, come to all fours position. In all fours position, step your right foot right between your hands. I like using blocks, tall blocks, so that I can just work the area of the hip just a little bit more fully without rounding the spine. As you drop into the pose, reach your arms up. Now take your right hand back down to the block or the floor and reach your left arm over. So you get this nice stretch all the way from the left pelvic point all the way to the fingertips. Release your hand down. Come to step the left foot right between your hands. Drop in to give yourself a nice thigh stretch, the back leg. Lift both hands up, settle deeper into the pose. Release your left hand down. Reach your right arm up and over to the side. Keep a nice engagement of the hands. Spread the fingers. Drop a little bit lower in your pose. Release your hand down. Come to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, just pedal your legs nicely to bring awareness to the back sides of the leg. Now come to all fours position again. If you'd like to use your blocks, grab them. Step the right foot right between the blocks. Settle deeper into the pose. Reach your left arm up this time. Take your left hand to the outer knee or the left elbow to the outer knee to come to a nice twisting action. Release your hands back to the blocks. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot forward. Drop in. Reach your right arm up. Take your right hand or the right elbow to the outside of the knee and come to the twist to help open up the side body for this feeling of stability in the pelvic area. It's so helpful to lengthen through the side body from the pelvis all the way to the armpit to gain that sense of spaciousness first. Now release your hands to the blocks. Come back to downward facing dog again. In downward facing dog, lift your right leg, bend your right knee, lift high. Release your right foot down. Take your left leg up, bend your left knee, lift high. Release your left foot down. Come to all fours position. Now walk your feet up to your hands. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. You may want to use blocks again or be a wall for this next one. So as you take your blocks in their tallest position, we'll be balancing. So you can bend your left knee, take your right ankle to the outer knee, take your hands to the blocks or to a wall, something to support you. Drop yourself a little bit deeper into the pose. Now slowly come toward a straight leg and draw your heart just a little bit closer toward the mat. Bend your left knee. Look forward. Now straighten your left leg and draw down. One more time. With the right foot very active, you're working to spread your toes as you do a nice slow and steady movement, bending the standing leg and straightening it. Now release your right foot down. Place your left ankle just to the outer right knee so the ankle is free. Bend your right knee a lot as you drop the pelvis down toward the mat. Bend your right knee, drop your pelvis. Keep a nice fullness to your breath. Now slowly come toward a straight right leg. Bend your right knee again. Come toward a straight right leg again. Bend your right knee. come toward a straight right leg. Release your left foot down. Take your feet a little wider apart and maybe turn the toes out just slightly so that you can come to a squat position. And as you come to a squat position, some of us need a little bit of elevation under our heels, like a blanket or a beach towel or something. So we are going to be staying in the squat position just a little bit longer. So keep a nice evenness to the breath before coming down to the mat. And as you come to the mat, take your right shin on top of the left. So as you do, for some of us, this is really uncomfortable, right? The right knee is so high. So you might want to use a block or a blanket to elevate yourself. So as you sit a little bit taller, you'll notice that the right knee might settle in a little bit more to the pose. In this pose, they call the fire log pose, where you're stacking your shins on top of each other as if they were fire logs. See if you can get your legs to be a little bit more active to help open up these muscles that support the stability and mobility of your pelvic area. So as you press your hands into the heels of your feet, press back with the legs, and the more active the legs become, the more you start to notice that you get a little bit more opening, that you are actually stacking the right shin on top of the left. Now slowly come out of the pose, and let's try the opposite side. So the right leg will be the lower fire log. The left ankle is to the outer right knee. And again, you start where you are. And if this is not working for you, you may want to straighten the bottom leg. So as you keep a nice action in the lifted leg, the top leg, encourage the left thigh to drop down a little bit as you push the left heel in towards your hand and the right heel into the hand. Now that you know the actions of the legs, maybe you can come just slightly forward in this pose, just as a way to get a little bit more fullness, a little bit more action in this pose. Now slowly lift yourself to come out of the pose. A favorite seated pose for opening the hips nicely is baby cradle. So take your right foot and just hold the heel while keeping the alignment of the ankle. No sickling of the foot. You want to keep the foot active, working the heel of the foot right into the palm of the hand. Now move the lifted leg in such a way that you feel like you're getting a little bit more mobility and flexibility in the area of the right hip. Can you draw the heel just slightly closer while still doing very slow and steady movement? Now release the right leg, and let's do that with the left. Hold on to the left heel. Rather than really low, let's lift it up, pull it in toward the heart, and get the foot active. Nice spread to the toes as you move the legs side to side. And release your foot down. Come to sit with your feet forward again. As you sit with your feet forward, walk your hands back, So your toes and your fingers are reaching toward the back of the mat. Bend your elbows, hug your elbows in, get a nice lift to the upper chest. Stay there with this nice openness to the upper chest, or lift your pelvis up. Keep the nice opening of the upper chest even as you carry and lift your pelvis higher and release your pelvis down. Now come to lie down on your back. Bend your knees, and just like we were doing on one leg, that figure 4, with your right ankle to the outer left knee, hug your left thigh in, reach your right knee further away from your ribs. Just get this nice opening in the pelvic area. Enjoy your breath. Keep reaching the left foot further away from the heart so that you can get a nice lumbar curve. Release your left foot down, release your right foot down. Take your left foot to the outer right knee. Lift your right thigh in toward your heart. Interlace your fingers behind the right thigh. Reach your left knee away from your left ribs. So rather than a really passive pose, the engagement of your legs create very active pose. And that action of the legs helps you build and strengthen the lumbar curve. You have a nice engagement of the legs as the hands kind of pull in to draw the right thigh closer to the right ribs. You push out with the right thigh against the interlaced fingers. Release your feet down to the mat. Stretch your legs out with your palms open, with your eyes closed. Come to find a nice ease in your breath. You breathe in deep. And out long. You breathe in deep. You breathe out long. You breathe in deep. And out long. Allow your breath to feel very free and natural. Enjoy this time of assimilating the actions that you've done in the practice. And let this be a time of restoration, of rejuvenation, of ease. Thank you for joining me in the practice. Namaste.